A little tip I learned from Heloise.
Sure.
If you don't put those shirts in hot water, they won't shrink up on you like that. Just a little thing. A cold water, then a rinse.
Oh, you and your helpful tip. Thank you.
Hey, now, did you have any confessions? I wanted to ask you. You saw that some of the people here bearing their souls. Anything you want to get off your whatever? Now, you're goody two-shoes, huh? You probably don't have anything to confess in your whole life.
Okay, I'll do the confession.
Okay, what do you have?
When I first started acting, my theatrical agent invited me to this dinner. And I never went to these kind of dinners or anything. Right. And, but he was in a jam. His wife couldn't go. It was one of those things. It was a small dinner party for 10 people.
Oh, you had to go instead of his wife?
That amount. He wasn't fresh or anything. It was just a...
The oldest scam in the world.
No.
My wife's sick.
But, so I went, and it was at this beautiful mansion in Beverly Hills. And I was a vegetarian at the time. I became a vegetarian when I was 9 because I loved animals so much. We had all these pets, and I didn't want to eat them. Yeah. In fact,
well, I don't think you're supposed to eat the pets, actually. I think that might have been the problem, if your parents were roasting the animals on a regular basis.
Yeah, that kind of got to me. Yeah. But, so I became an expert at a very young age at hiding my food. If I didn't want people to make a big fuss over what I was going to eat because I had this strange diet. And I was very sly about it. So we're sitting at the table, and it was in honor of Clint Eastwood, and I was sitting next to Clint Eastwood.
Oh, that's pretty neat.
So I was kind of nervous about my table manners anyway. And the first course was sashimi, and I very slyly got it in my napkin on my lap. Nobody saw. Okay. Nobody saw. I was very slyly, bit by bit. And then I came to a point where I wanted to use my napkin, so I thought, well, it's a long tablecloth, and these people had servants that were waiting on them, and they would be the ones that would be cleaning up. So the owner, the host, wouldn't know if it was me or Clint or whoever. Right. So I dumped the napkin in carefully, and I put it on the floor, and then I could use my napkin, and it was fine. And then Clint Eastwood's girlfriend said to the owner, "Oh, how are the dogs? Can we see the dogs?" And he gets up, he opens the door, and these 2 enormous Dalmatians come running in and lunge at my feet, and they're eating and eating. And they're just scarfing down my sashimi, and no, it was...
Remind me to have you over the house for dinner, actually. And that's your worst. Well, that's not so bad. No, that's okay. That's pretty innocent. That's an innocent one. Now, you see, I'm told you have a terrible mind for names and things. So I'm surprised you... We had this discussion once. You told me you're not very good at remembering things. You're like me. I can remember a lot of things that happened at age 4 or 5. Yeah. And for some reason, certain years are like missing.
Names are the hardest thing for me to remember.
I'm not good with names. I'm good with, yo, kiddo. Yeah.
But I'm trying to get better. I'm working on it. When I was younger, I worked for a time as a waitress in a convalescent home. And it was actually a place where there was a big dining room, and the people were able to come up and have dinner. And we were expected to memorize everyone's name when we gave them their food. And I had a really hard time with it. So to help me remember who got what meal, I would come up with my own little names for the people. Something descriptive, like perm or mole or whatever, popped into mind, whatever was appropriate. Yeah. And most of the people were so great. They were so nice, and I loved them. There was this one table of these 3 women that weren't very nice. And my names for them, well,
you can say it.
Bleep, bleepity bleep, and blank.
Would it be like a female dog name?
Yes. No. Close to that.
And what would be a super female dog name?
Yeah.
So you had female dog name, super female dog name, and extra super female.
An extra, exactly.
So you were like Cinderella. Those are the 3 ugly stepsisters.
And those are the 3 ones. And that's what helped me memorize their names. But there was one point where I was trying to be efficient, and I was busy, and I'm pouring the coffee, and I wasn't paying attention. I had my tablet down, and bleepity bleep saw it. And it was not very...
she knew that she was super female dog
She picked it up, and it was, it didn't go over very well with the boss. It was...
Did you get fired on that one?
No, I got a lecture, but I didn't get fired.
Did you find that some of the elderly male patients wanted to keep you on?
They were great. It was really fun.
Yeah.
You know, it's really fun working with old. You know, they have great stories. I like working with.
Did you ever go
people.
work as a waitress again, or was that it?
I worked as a hostess, and I worked as a hostess in a pizza restaurant. Oh, that was an interesting experience. My job as a hostess was to make sure everybody had water and light the candles. It was one of those Italian restaurants.
Oh, okay.
Well, it was like more than just pizza.
Right.
Pasta.
Right.
And I'd light those candles with those long sticks. And I was wearing this, this was the early 80s. I was wearing one of those tube top dresses.
I can picture it now.
Polyester.
Yeah.
And it looks as if I'm wearing a towel wrapped around myself. At the time, it was really, that was really the dress.
It works for me.
It was great. Yeah. And I'm lighting the candle, and I'm pouring water at the same time. The man I'm pouring water for is looking at me, and I think he's having a stroke or something. I don't know what's wrong. And then I realize my dress is on fire. I lit my dress on fire. Luckily, I did pay attention when we learned in school to drop on the floor and roll.
Oh, you didn't tear it off?
I did the roll. I did the roll in the restaurant, and had this nice big hole right on my dress. I had to ride my bike home and change.
Oh, how horrible.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
you poor
waitressing didn't work out.
Now, I know you have the March of Dimes. It's the March of Dimes Walkathon coming up in April.
The March of Dimes Walkathon. Kmart asked me to join them in the walk. They're the #1 sponsor, and so I've done a lot of research with them. They're a wonderful organization. FDR actually founded this in 1938. They accomplished their original mission, which was finding a cure for polio. And now their whole program is Campaign for Healthier Babies.
Is BHB going with it?
Yep.
Big-headed baby. That's your baby?
Big-headed.
That's why I invite you here, you know, so I can play with your son. He's a lot of fun. I like little babies with big heads. He's a great baby.
He is mesmerized by you.
He's a very smart boy.
Connection going.
We have a connection.
He's like...
We'll be right back with another big-headed guy, Geechee guy, right after this.